In this video, we're going to be blocking out these brackets, and then later on we're going to make a splint guide to hold these brackets. So in order to do that, we're going to zoom in, we're going to select the model, shift right click to place our cursor, and we're going to click on vertex blocking, and this is in the bracket remover add-on. And if you don't have these menus, click on update and install a new menu. So here I'm going to extrude E with a left click, E left click, E left click. We're going to bring those out to where we want this blocked out. Then what we're going to do is we're going to extrude it away from our view. So we're going to have this sort of in line with it. Picture it being extruded from your eyesight into the computer. And then we're going to click on block out, and this made like a cube that goes inside of the model. Then we're going to do the next one, and I'm going to extrude it like this and block out, and it's made another block out. Now the purpose of that is to block out on the inside over here, so that when we're making a proper model it can slot in there like a pocket, and you'll see that further down the line. So I'm going to do all of those, and then we're going to unify that to the model. Now that they have all been blocked out, we need to unify them to the model, and this is how we're going to do it. Simply select the model and click select model and unify, and then just wait for it to unify. Excellent. Now once this is done, we're just going to check over our work, which is good, and we're going to go to the block out module. Now this specific case, when I look at it from the front side, it's actually in the position of the lower model. But we're not going to survey anything, so that's not really going to make much of a difference. But from a point of habit, we're going to click on name lower, and then what we're going to do is create an offset model. Now this is quite important, but we're going to offset only a little bit, so 0.1, and we're going to apply that offset. And then if you look at this mesh structure, it's not very fine because the mesh structure of the original model was not fine. So we're going to enhance that a little bit, and you can see the definition has been improved. Now this becomes the surface, our fitting surface. Now what we're going to do is we're going to view it from the other side. Then we're going to go to the splint module and click shift right click to place a cursor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the occlusal cutter. So name this, select model for plane, shift right click to place a cursor, and then draw a long occlusal plane. Now we don't have an occlusal plane, but we're going to draw along the tips of these brackets. So E left click up like that. So E left click, E left click, E left click. So I'm going to continue this. So now that I'm finished, we're going to click on make occlusal plane. Now in transparent mode, this is what it looks like. But we don't need to think about this step. All we need to do is click on make cutting tool. This is going to expand the cutting tool outwards, and then what we need to do is we need to grab this little blue arrow and move it down a bit, because notice these are going to be little pockets where the brackets slip into. So just expose them a little bit. If there's one that's not exposed and you want to do fine detail, go into edit mode, proportional editing on, and use the GZ key and move it down so we can still manipulate the mesh. The point is that we would like to create a nice pocket. So this is looking really good so far. Now here is what we're going to do, because it deviates from the module. It is not very difficult, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So click on the properties and click on that spanner. Now in the properties, we're going to see something called solidify. Now there's a little, looks like a little TV screen. Click on that and that will expose the solidification, which is actually hidden. So again, we're going to expose this little screen here. Then we're going to set this, say, to 10. Okay, so you can see it expand, but it expands on the 0, which is the middle of it. We'd like to expand it in the opposite direction. So if I click on 1, it's expanded upwards. If I click on -1, it will expand it downwards. And this is exactly what we want. Now there's another remesh modifier. Ignore that. That is also not visible at the moment, so we don't need to touch that. Again, I'm looking to see that I've got all these little pockets exposed. Now that that's done, we're going to click on Cut Layer. Now there is no layer because, again, this deviates from the splint module. So click on Cut Layer, which is very important because it's going to enable these modifiers. Cut Layer. Now that's changed color, and this now becomes our layer. We're going to go to the cutting tools at the bottom. Now make sure that the offset model, which it's named offset model and it's expanded by 0.1, that's going to be our target model. That's going to be our fitting surface. Call that target model, and then we're going to click on the blue object and we're going to make that our layer. Now in the left corner we can see target model. This is what we want. We're going to select this object and we call this name layer. So it's called layer, target model and layer. And we're going to cut fitting surface. Now this is perfect so far. The next thing what we need to do is we're going to make this smaller. So move it upwards, so we're looking at from the top or from the bottom. You can use a tilde key, top or bottom, and then shift right click to place the cursor. Go to the model designer and then click on curve cutting. Now you can use a lasso. The lasso does take a little bit longer. Make sure you select it. So curve cutting, S to scale it. Now what we want to do is we want to manipulate these curves. Now each curve has like 3 little handles to it. So this one I'm going to move with the G key to about here. Select this one, move it across like that. Select that one, move it inwards. Select this one, move it to this side. We're going to create an arch, something like that. You can click on A if you want to, and then subdivide, which actually puts more curves down, and then it gives you more options of creating a nice outline. So when I'm happy with that, we're going to click on Keep Inside. So this is what it looks like, and then click on Accept. Our little guide is now finished, and when we look closely, we have these little pockets where the brackets can slot into.